the family in the car. It's that time of year. Wonder and excitement wait at Gillian's Wonderland Pier. Try the roller coaster ride or the giant wheel and touch the sky. Summer days and nights, Wonder Bear will be your guide. Fun for every age and size. Make the summer come alive. Wonder and excitement wait at Gillian's Wonderland Pier. Gillian's Wonderland Pier. Gillian's Wonderland Pier. Gillian's Wonderland Pier.
Hello everyone, Dan McDermott here. I'm here to show you Wonderland's famous swing ride. This swing ride has been here since the mid-1980s. It was built in Germany. It's had many paint jobs over the last almost 40 years that it's been here. But let's take a look. Brought to Wonderland in the mid-80s as well. It's been moved around a couple of different times. Originally it was located in the center of the park, in between where the Jumbo and the fun slide is right now, and it is currently sitting where the Gillian used to reside. Inside we have, this door opens up just like that, and we can see the hardware inside, some of the superstructure, and you can actually walk in here like this. So come on in, and if you angle right up there, you can see that's where some of the lighting is, and this is some of the mechanics of the ride. This circuit breaker here is where we turn the lights on at night. When the ride was originally installed, the control box was located in the center of the ride, so the operator actually could walk into the ride and start the ride from in here. And then they would walk out here to be able to watch, and they would stand right here and wait for the ride to slow down.
Oh, they wouldn't be inside?
No.
Oh, I always thought they would be inside because that's what all these mirrors are for.
So
That's what I always thought.
No, there's actual footage of the operator standing out here, and the ride was on a timer, so it was able to stop itself, and the operator was able to look at the ride.
What happened to the timer? The 13 years we've been here, it's never been on a timer.
It's never been on a timer.
Yeah.
This is one of the only rides that we don't have on a timer. But all this artwork up here was repainted several different times. Wayne Seddon, our art director, was able to repaint this ride. And the last time it was repainted was in 2018. I forgot to mention the ride was actually located on the upper deck for a little while as well. We wanted to just see how it would perform up there, and we decided in 2020 that it was best to move the ride down back to the mid-deck, nearby all the other attractions and things like that. But the ride has pretty much remained the same since it was installed in the 80s. I mean, some minor cosmetic alterations, but I mean, if you look at a picture of, you know, the swings from way back then, they look almost identical. But this came in a package deal, I believe Roy Gillian was telling us, with the Galleon in the 80s. I think this ride came before the Galleon, if I'm not mistaken.
Bug told me it was either 85 or 86. He wasn't sure.
I want to say this ride came before the Galleon. So the seat belt's pretty simple. Lock it just like that. To get inside, you pull up, take a seat. These are for smaller children, these seats. But I have seen a small adult fit in one before, so it is common to see that. Guests are encouraged to take off their shoes before the ride starts. We recommend it just because they have a tendency to fly off when the ride is running. When it was on the deck, they used to fly into the log flume all the time. But usually the operator, before they start the ride, I used to encourage them, when I would train on this ride, I would encourage the operators to walk face front so they could see the seat, see the seat belt, see if every seat belt was, you know, securely fastened, that sort of thing.
Now, the other thing that I normally do is, you're probably wondering, now what are these things for? Why don't you just have the chains? Well, eventually, as you run this ride over and over again, you're going to notice that these chains are going to get mangled up, and the last thing you want is a guest grabbing it with their bare hand and possibly cutting themselves. So that's why these are here, and occasionally when we're in maintenance, we have to lift these up and check to make sure the chains are good. If they're not good and they're all mangled up, we have to cut it, make it shorter, and then put it back in, you know, so that could take time. So we have to check those usually, most of the time, usually every day, because you're running this is one of the popular rides. It's been a popular ride here for 40 years, so you want to keep running it all over and over again. The other thing you also want to make sure of is, this is something I've been doing, because I've been running the swings since I started here in 2012. I always like to do this. You have a seatbelt right here. The kids and the adults, they always have to sit all the way in the back. Now you always want to give it a nice little tug like that. You always want to give it a nice tug like that. And the other thing you want to do is this. Always make sure that the bar is underneath these little L brackets right here. Never have it like that. Never have it like that. Always have it underneath. Because God forbid, if this thing snaps off, at least this won't come up. See where I'm going with this? So it's like a safety mechanism. That's what I always like to do. Now, the other thing is, most of the time kids will buckle in themselves. Just because they're buckled in, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily buckled. It's the operator's job to go around and double check every single seat belt. Every single one. Even if it's clicked in, you gotta grab it. Just like that. And always make sure that the bar is in like that. They pass those two tests, this seat is ready to go. We're on to the next seat. the end of the summer of 2016, we had to take the swing ride out of here to get it completely refurbished from top to bottom. And we didn't bring it back in the park until 2018. So for the entire summer of 2017, it wasn't here. You might remember we had kite flyers sitting in the middle over there instead of the swing ride. So during that time, I didn't know that the swings is actually on a trailer. I thought this was a park model ride because it sat in the same spot for 30 years. But as soon as you pull up the staircase and everything underneath, you realize it's actually on wheels, which I didn't know that. And I remember them wheeling it down the ramp to get it out of here when they tore it down in 2016, but then they brought it back. Now, some people think that this is a different model swing ride. It's not. It's the exact same one. It just has a different paint job on it. But it's the same one we've had for 40 years. So that's about it. And the other thing is, I've actually taken panels of this ride off before. I remember one time we had a really bad wind hurricane that came in. We had a really bad hurricane that came in. This was around 2020, 2021, somewhere around there. And the blue panels up top came right off and they cracked in like 3 different pieces. And I remember Wayne and I were like, we were mending all of them in his shop and we had to put them back up. But you can't tell the difference. I mean, they look like they're in perfect shape. But they actually did get cut up, almost every panel. And we had to put them back together again.
The lighting has also been refurbished once in 2018. We refurbished the lighting system and put in these brand new LED lights. And the ride actually looks a lot brighter than it used to. But you'll notice that when you see it at night. So to turn the lights on, we go into this circuit panel here in the ride. And as you can see here, they're labeled control, motor, and the lights. So we're going to flip the lights on. Boom, the lights are on.
But what about the main source of power?
Is the main power on?
That's okay. At least the lights are off.
Well, at least we got footage of that, so that way you can edit that. So the main power. So before we next I'm going to show you the main power room. So back here is the electrical room for the swing ride.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a few other rides, electrical panels are back here too. Keep a lot of miscellaneous equipment back here. So we're going to unlock the door here. Alright, once we get in here, put the light on. So this is some of the panels here. We have this was the Trabant's original main source of power. The steakhouse, John's Steakhouse. This was John's office. We had the bungees here, the concession stand storage room that still is being used. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the swings on. So we're going to flip the swings on. Swings main power turned on. Pretty cool, right? All right, so this is the control cover panel. Take the control cover panel. Just store that somewhere down here.
Mm-hmm. Usually we put that inside the ride, but we'll leave it here for now.
We could do that. Let's put it in there.
Okay.
Okay, so the swing ride. We're ready to start her up. Foot on the pedal, just tap the start button. Takes a second, but the ride will start up. Takes a second to kick in, but